Wait, how you doing? Maybe like this. Hi, my name is Julianne, also known as Roadrunner, and in 2022 I thru hiked the entire Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine, and today I wanted to talk about what does a typical day as a thru hiker look like. I have to state that this typical day is my typical day. So that means that it can be different for other people. So I am just going to tell you what my typical day on the Appalachian Trail entailed with regard to thru hiking. I guess I should just say it's my thru hike. I don't know, like I've thru hiked with a bunch of other people and it was pretty similar to my thru hike. So I don't know, so whatever. Boom shaka laka. So to start off the day on a thru hike, you have to wake up. So you're in your tent and you generally wake up anywhere from 5:30 to probably 6:30, 7 o'clock. It just depends. Again, some people, they wake up at 10 a.m. But typical thru hikers wake up at time of dawn. And the first thing that I personally would do is get up and get my food bag from the bear hang. So I'd get up, I'd make sure I'm all warm and cozy because getting out of the tent is usually a temperature shock. So I'd get out, get my bear bag. Usually it's not that difficult to get the bear bag. It's much more difficult to hang the bear bag. So I would get it and then get back into my tent. The next thing that I would do is I would make myself some coffee or some milk tea. I really enjoy mornings and I really enjoy just sitting in my tent and having something warm to drink. So I would just make me something to, like I wouldn't really make anything to eat. It's more like a coffee or like milk tea. The next thing that I would do is brush my teeth, and after that I would put everything back into the bear bag and then start disassembling my tent and setup. Disassembling a tent, or it's the whole setup within it, unfortunately takes me anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. I do not know why it takes this long. It shouldn't take this long. And even, I mean, probably I would be able to get this done in 20 minutes, but I was generally more of a moseying kind of person. You know, deflate my pad, pack everything up, get up, and anyway, it would just generally take me 45 minutes to an hour to disassemble the entire getup and pack it away. Once everything was packed and ready to go, I would start hiking with my mid-layer on, and unfortunately, it never failed for me. I could never go to the bathroom at my tent site. Every time I started hiking, about a mile into my hike, nature called. Without fail, for me, unfortunately. So, taking off the pack, finding a good spot, digging a cat hole, doing your business, getting back to your pack, and resume hiking. So, which is a little bit annoying because you just started warming up and getting your muscles going, and then you have to go to the bathroom, and then you kind of have to get warm again, and you just continue hiking with your mid-layer. So that means that about another half a mile to a mile into it, I get so warm that I have to take my mid-layer off. And so I would stop again, take the mid-layer off, pack it away, and start hiking. During the hike, I would go up hills, down hills, up mountains, down mountains. I would see some beautiful views, some not so beautiful views. And while hiking, I might be eating a snack such as a candy bar or maybe even like some beef jerky or something like that. In addition to just hiking up and down mountains, you would generally look for some water sources, get water, and filter your water. Filtering my water isn't necessarily my favorite thing to do. Some people think it takes forever. I don't think it takes really that long, but it's definitely a little bit annoying to, again, take the pack off, filter the water, put it back on the pack. I mean, it just really disrupts your momentum of hiking, but you can also use it as a sense of a break for yourself, because some people do recommend taking breaks more often. So I would continue hiking until about maybe 12 or 1. Generally, we as a family decided to take a break halfway our mileage, or maybe like around 12 or 1 p.m. and we'd find a spot, meet up, and then just eat our lunch. Lunch can vary from cooking or just eating like a wrap. And for us, the lunch generally took at least 30 minutes. Sometimes we took a lunch break for 2 hours. But I would say if I was hiking by myself, my lunchtime would probably be 30 minutes. Once you're done with, look at my notes. Once you're done with your lunch, you put the pack back on. You might even have to start with your mid-layer again if it was cold outside, and you'd continue hiking up mountains, down mountains. You, in the meantime, trying to find water sources, filter water, take the pack off, get hot because you've been hiking long, take the mid-layer off, pack it away, put the backpack back on, hike up mountains and down mountains, and that's generally the afternoon. The afternoon mileage tends to be a little bit slower for myself. I am a faster hiker in the morning, and after lunch after lunch I do get a little bit more sluggish and slower. So the most of the hike, essentially you're hiking up mountains, down mountains. You tend to look at your Far Out app a lot to just make sure the mountain is done with. And then at the end of the day, I do look at Far Out quite a lot to find a stealth site, a dispersed site, or a shelter camping area, just to make sure it fits with the mileage that I wanted to do and whether it's a place that I would want to stay at. Once I do find a camping site, the next step is to find an actual spot where you can put up your tent, and you generally walk around quite a bit just to make sure your site is level, that you have that there's no stones or roots in the spot, and that it couldn't be flooded in case there was rain. And you also want to make sure that there are no widowmakers where you're going to set up your tent. Once you find your tent spot, that is the first thing you do. You set up your tent, and then you get in the tent and you take out, or I would take out my quilt to make sure that it gets all fluffy again, and set up everything within my tent. And then the next step would be to clean myself. I would take some wet wipes and clean my feet and other areas, and I would change into different socks. For me, there's nothing more comfy than to change into a clean pair of socks, so for me that was really important. And then in addition to that, the next step would be to check for any sort of ticks or any kind of marks on your body that could resemble a tick bite. Once you've cleaned yourself, you essentially are done setting up your tent. You get out of the tent, take your food bag, and make your dinner. That could be cooking or eating your cold-soaked food. And a lot of times that's a good time to be able to socialize with other hikers, get to know them, talk to them, and just bring us all together. After I would finish my dinner, the next step is to brush my teeth. And because I wanted to make sure I put the toothpaste and a toothbrush into my bear bag, I needed to make sure that I brushed my teeth before trying to hang my bear bag. The next step would be to find a spot to hang your bear bag, which is probably the least favorite part of a lot of hikers. Finding a spot is one thing, and then once you find a branch that's perfect, trying to hang it. Sometimes I would be successful hanging it on first throw, and sometimes it would take us forever. The other thing is your line can get stuck in a tree, and then you could lose your bear bag or the bear bag line, and it can be quite a disaster, and it takes a while. That's why some people try to find a bear bag spot before they even cook to make sure that they have that. I sometimes do that as well, but typically I eat my food and then try to find a spot and hang my bear bag. After hopefully having successfully hung your bear bag, it is most likely time to get to camp. It's probably getting dark, and so one of the things you should do is probably go to the bathroom so that you don't have to get up in the middle of the night, even though that doesn't really prevent you from maybe having to go anyway. But yeah, I would go to the bathroom, try to at least, and then get into my tent. Me personally, once I'm in my tent, I would edit my videos and then slowly settle down and start to sleep. So that is a whole day on the Appalachian Trail for me personally, that is how a typical day on the trail was. It's exciting, it's mundane, is it monotonous, mundane? I don't know, but it can be the same thing over and over again, and if you like that, then this is a really great experience. If you don't like it, it might be a little bit cumbersome, a little bit boring, but for me, I really enjoyed it because I got to see different scenery. I loved hiking and just having my own space and time, and so it was a great experience for me. So I hope this helped. I am thinking about doing a little series about a typical day, maybe doing a typical day of town days and what we actually do when we get to town and the different things like that. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd even be interested in. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all my subscribers. Thank you so much to my patrons. Without you, I could not save the money to do another thru hike. And stay tuned. I'm so excited for the things coming up.